The B1 Titan 4-wheel drive is by far the most powerful electric skateboard in its category today, but there's a whole lot more to like about it. It's a grower, not a shower, because it grows on you once you get to know it. And in this video, you're gonna get to know the Titan 4-wheel drive. The Titan 4-wheel drive has a 768 watt-hour 13S4P battery pack made of Samsung 40T cells. That is an incredible battery pack for a production electric skateboard. Samsung 40T are reputable 21700 cells that pack a punch and have decent capacity, and the 13S configuration lets the pack and controller output more power than the Titan's direct competitors, which use 12S packs. Because I'm still recovering from an injury, this board was tested by my henchman Max. Max drained the battery in about 32 kilometers while riding over 40 kilometers per hour for most of the ride. He was using the all-terrain setup and riding on a variety of terrain: grass, road, dirt, etc. Thanks to the high discharge 40T cells, the board still breaks 40 kilometers per hour with no noticeable power sag, even under 20% battery. The charger is rated for 5 amps, which means generally you can expect to charge the board from 0 to full in about 4 hours. It comes with a built-in fan and is lighter and easier to carry than most fast chargers from other brands. The 4 belt drive motors are 6368 170 kV brushless DC. They're rated for 1500 watts each, for a total of 12,000 watts if you use evolved math. That should be plenty to take advantage of the powerful battery. For whatever reason, the front motor mount arms are shorter than the ones on the back, so when you turn hard enough, the front motors can actually rub against the deck. That's probably something they should fix. The Titan uses Hobbywing's latest controllers, with their renowned, smooth, yet powerful controls. According to Max, the Titan feels noticeably more powerful than even the 4-wheel drive X-Way Atlas, which is already insanely powerful. But the brakes felt soft, at least in the default setting. Fortunately, both the acceleration and brake strengths can be tweaked through the remote. Clicking the remote's mode button 5 times quickly brings up a menu to switch between 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive, and to adjust the brake strength from 0 to 100. According to Max, with the brakes set to 100, they're even stronger than the brakes on the 4-wheel drive Atlas. It's overkill, but again, it's adjustable. Turbo mode on the Titan is activated differently from other boards. The remote cycles through speed modes 1 to 3 with the mode button, just like any other board, but engaging turbo requires a triple click. I think that's a nice safety feature. The Titan comes with a brake light on its rear motor guard. It's not just a tail light, it actually blinks when you brake. I think this is a great feature, and having the tail light built into the motor guard is kinda awesome. Before we move on to the skate parts, do me a favor and hit the like button if this video has been helpful. The Titan comes with traditional kingpin trucks, which they call CKP trucks. I believe these are just the standard double kingpin trucks minus the extra kingpin, and with a taller base plate. The hangers are forged for strength, while the base plates are CNC machined for precision and stability. According to Max, the trucks are surprisingly stable. They're so stable that Max was comfortable cruising around at 45 kilometers per hour and topping out at 57 kilometers per hour. I don't recommend that you do that. Compared to double kingpin trucks, you can expect a larger turn radius at low speeds. It's comparable to most reverse kingpin trucks. The stock bushings are 108 durometer, which is probably the main reason the board is so stable. They are a cone barrel pair in the front and barrel pair in the back. The deck is forged out of a carbon composite, and otherwise more or less the same as the B1 Hercules deck. Carbon decks tend to be very stiff, so don't expect to bounce on it. The concave profile of the deck is flat in the center with raised edges, and a slight drop down for a lower ride height. Experienced riders may have their own concave preferences, but this type of flat concave is generally pretty comfortable for most people, especially with the deck having grip tape that's layered with foam, adding even more comfort for longer rides. The all-terrain configuration comes with 150mm or 6-inch pneumatic street tires. These wheels do fine in light dirt and grass, but if you want something more hardcore, swapping out the tires for something with off-road treads and a larger diameter is an option, but you'd have to get those types of tires from third parties. If you don't plan on going off-road, the street configuration comes with 120mm cloud wheels, which are pretty decent even on bad roads. Compared to pneumatic tires, the cloud wheels give you more range but less grip. At 16 kilograms, this is not a board you'd want to frequently carry in your arms. Maybe pulled by the front truck, but if portability is important to you, I suggest you look elsewhere. Note that because it's 4-wheel drive and motors are mounted on the front and back, you can't really pull this board in the street configuration because the motors will scrape against the ground. You'd have to pick it up in places where you can't ride it. I'm okay with the red and black color scheme. In fact, I kinda like it, but this grip tape design is pretty fugly. I'm quite confident that they lost a number of sales just because of the grip tape. As I said, I really like the brake light feature and how it's integrated with the motor guard, but I don't like this amateur design for the light cutouts. I mean, does anybody? Leave a comment. For a $2,000 product, they really should put more attention into the aesthetics. The T10 comes with a 6-month warranty, where if anything fails, they'll ship over a replacement part after you make a claim through their email support. B1 is a relatively new brand, so they don't have much of a customer service track record yet. For better or worse, the founder of B1 used to be part of Onboard. Being a 4-wheel drive board, the Titan 4-wheel drive is for people who plan on using the board in off-road environments that have limited traction, and for people who want insanely quick acceleration. There are only a handful of 4-wheel drive all-terrain boards available on the market, namely X-Way, Baja boards, and custom builders like Kaylee NYC. Among the bunch, the only realistic competitor to the B1 Titan 4-wheel drive is the X-Way Atlas 4-wheel drive. As of making this video, the two are equally priced at $2,000 for the all-terrain kit, and $2,200 for the 2-in-1 kit. The Atlas is a far more polished and attractive looking product, with more features and accessories. But the Titan way outspecs the Atlas in terms of power. Not just the Atlas, but every other 2-in-1 all-terrain board. So if you're looking for the most powerful board you can buy in this category today, I think this is it. The B1 Titan 4-wheel drive was kind of a surprise, and if I had looked more closely at the specs when I received it, I probably wouldn't have sat on it for so long. Samsung 40T cells, along with a bunch of other popular Samsung cells, have been in very low supply, so most e-skate companies have been switching to using batteries from less popular brands. I also didn't notice that it was using a 13S 4P configuration. 13S is nothing new, it's just very rare. And 4-wheel drive with 6368 motors, this board is overkill. I mean, I think a lot of boards today are overkill, but this takes the cake. I was also surprised to learn that these trucks are as stable as they are. Max told me that his comfortable cruising speed on this board was much higher than with most other boards because of how stable it was. It is using 108 durometer bushings though, which is as hard as they get for bushings. The brake lights are a nice feature. I think for these boards that are going to be used on streets, this feature should be more common. Turbo requiring a triple click is nice, especially on a board this powerful. Being able to adjust the performance settings on the remote and without having to redo the pairing process, I think that's pretty cool. Overall, I think this is a really good board. It just needs more polish because the design looks really amateur, but otherwise it's pretty great. What did you think about this board? Leave a comment and let me know. And if this video has been helpful, hit the like button.